Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Empire Total War with the American Revolutionary mod. Last time around, we took out a British army, more or less, or we once again cut down the army of Gisbert Stanhope, so lost twice at this point. But he still has a force of 1,000 men, plus a little extra here. So there's still a fighting force. However, they're soon to be extinct, with only one real major force left in North America of the British. Oh, they have actually moved the troop across here for some god-awful reason. But today we're going to start off with taking out some Cherokee. Now, unfortunately, as I've explained before, I cannot actually play this battle, which is a shame. Because for some reason the Cherokee keep crashing. I'm not entirely sure what it is that makes the battle crash. Yeah, so we're gonna have to resolve it, unfortunately. So hopefully we can get a total slaughter that will leave none of them alive. So we bring 4,000 men, almost 5,000 under Buttersworth, and then an additional, I think, 4,000 under Nathaniel Green. So 8,000 men versus 3,200. Should be set up for a slaughter, but who knows. Allowed to resolve. We lost 1,400 men. However, the enemy lost 2,500. It's a shame it doesn't actually tell you if you lose any units. Doesn't seem as though I did, but the New York or the New Jersey, one of the New Jersey battalions lost tons of men. But yeah, it looks fine. At least 1,400 men is a lot of troops that have been taken out.
At the ready.
The force remains with 700 men.
Make ready.
And I'm hoping Nathaniel Green has enough to actually chase them down and utterly ruin them. They're only 635 against his 3,200. So he lost, what, 600 men then, roughly. So it's gonna split in half there. 350 men lost. All units intact as far as I can see. And, oh god, they actually survived, 2 units. How much is going to cost? 4,000 to replenish. We're going to make our way towards the enemy capital with both armies and hopefully be able to out-resolve them and get rid of the Native Americans. Up north, I've started, as we're closing in on the final battle, I've moved Washington north, so he's left Fort Pocahontas, and now he's moving to join the final battle over here. We still have these guys,
At the ready.
so I think we'll have a rematch here, where Bennett Fox is going to go ahead and take these guys out. Also, the pirates have turned their attention to us. Lots of Spanish galleons being taken, unless the pirates can actually build their own galleons. I'm not entirely sure. But they've gone ahead and laid siege or blocked my biggest port, which could have been a major problem had it not been for the fact that I own most of the North American coast at this point, so I make a bunch of money, enough to sustain myself. But I'm not entirely sure what prompted the pirates to go north. Possibly could be that they were paid off by the British. But that's just a roleplay explanation. The AI works in mysterious way. With that said, I think we'll jump into this battle. If we have time at the end of this episode, we'll end turn and then hope to out-resolve away these so I can just focus on the British. And hopefully most of my issues with crashing battles will be gone. But then also we're really closing in on the end of the series, so it's soon time for us to think about what comes next. This could be an out-resolve. because there's so few units. If you see, all of these guys are like broken down to 50 men and so on. They only have, well, they do have 2,000 combined, and we have about 2,000 combined, so it's still a battle. But I mean, it's pretty heavily in favor of me, especially since I've got 20 cannons. So I guess we'll play this one. It'll probably go rather quick, and then I can work on auto-resolving away the Cherokee nations. Well, with that said, all plans laid out, let's go ahead and put them into action. So this is really a continuation on the last battle we had in the previous video. Bennett Fox continues to hound Gisbert, and I think this will be Gisbert's last stand. He's managed to survive 2 major battles, but this third one I doubt he will survive. We start on the backside of a giant hill, so it seems as though Gisbert, in his desperation, fleeing into the forest to set up next to this little hamlet, thinking that possibly during winter the Bennett Fox would not pursue him. Or so maybe he did think he would pursue him. Anyways, the scouts have not spotted Bennett Fox, and he's been able to get at the backside of this hill, and soon we will rain down hot lead upon the British down in the hamlet. They will receive reinforcement from other troops in the forest, but that's not going to help them, I don't think. So we've got Bennett Fox over here. We've got the line of line infantry stationed in front, and then the artillery back, and then the colonial militia as the reserve line with the Spanish Marines. I want to say grenadiers because they kind of this grenadier hat, because they certainly don't look like Marines. In the back, so these are the guys that protect the artillery, and then the Baltimore Dragoons over here. I'm not entirely sure, I must have missed this, but Thomas Hartley's regiment is down to 40 men, which means they've lost 2/3, which, I mean, they did receive a cavalry charge, but they still had like 80 men after that. So I'm not entirely sure where exactly in that battle I missed that Thomas Hartley's regiment almost got destroyed. But with that said, let's go ahead and start the battle. So the British, it looks like they're kind of strung out in column. We're gonna bring up the artillery to a position where we can lay down fire. They did have time to construct some defenses down there, but you look at how pitiful all company size, or not even company size, units left. We're gonna have these guys stationed behind the artillery. There's very little chance of the British being able to set up any kind of successful counterattack towards us. Thomas Hartley is going to stay on the hill because he's only got 40 men, or 39. And then we've got Bennett Fox looking over the destruction of the British forces. Now, if the British have dug in, it's kind of clever of them to have put it like this, because it will defend their position. It will, however, severely limit their arc of fire, and also I don't know how useful it is when they're below the hill. We'll be dropping shells into this little enclosure, so it won't really help them that much. Oh, is that the general? Did he only manage to get 3 guys out of there? Or 3 bodyguard, or 2 bodyguard himself? And then we have their tiny line. They will get reinforcement though from 3, I believe. No, it's actually 4 regiments. There's a Newfoundland regiment. Looks like native musketmen. More natives. And Rogers Rangers. I guess we could say Rogers Rangers, or it's basically light infantry that come in to aid them. And I mean, these 4 regiments held as many men as his entire army, or his entire army of survivors from the last battle. Gonna... Oh, my cavalry came under attack by British tribal auxiliaries, and they put a native musketmen in the flank. So kind of clever there. I do have Thomas Hartley on the hill, ready to fire down upon them. The Baltimore Dragoons will retire. Kind of a clever attack there if it weren't for Thomas Hartley and his snipers on the hill. They could have succeeded. Also, I think they probably should have moved those musketmen, those native musketmen, closer to actually properly aid. I have all the time in the world, so we'll take the time to set up our artillery and absolutely blast the enemy away. Given that we do have some bloody natives coming in from that side, the Congressional Militia is going to set up over here with this one on this flank, and the Spanish Grenadier is going to come closer here. Looks like the British are moving their entire force down towards the forest over here, which could be good because they could kind of cut us off with this sort of ridge going straight through, and these kind of down in a little bit of a valley, trying to bring all these guys up a little bit. So we'll get in the line like so, as it looks like the entire British army is moving kind of that way. So we'll be moving like that. And with that, I'll order the artillery to blast the British cannons. Take a look at devastation. We hit nothing. We got one of them. With all that, we do have the Newfoundland regiment right there, which I don't like. They're probably going to be able to inflict quite a bit of damage if I don't run my troops into position rather quickly. Thomas Hartley's regiment is opening fire on Rogers Rangers and a company of select marksmen. The Newfoundlanders are going to go straight into the Colonial Marines, which I don't think is that clever. Sending up their sharpshooters like that. The British artillery piece was now destroyed in the second round of shots. The British army is moving into the forest, which I would say is a pretty good move, as it will hamper our ability to use the artillery to smash them completely. The Marines have lost 2 soldiers, 3 soldiers actually, while these guys have lost 30. So there's a definite difference here in melee ability. I mean, these guys didn't even have bayonets. They lost 40 men, while these guys lost 3. And now, as they run, we've got the Green Mountain Rangers firing into the back. So I don't think we will see the Newfoundland regiment come back anytime soon. Really don't like that my artillery is continuing to pound the enemy's artillery position. Hopefully they'll stop that. Let's move back. They're within range. I believe that, yeah, they're kinda trashing on the 1st New Hampshire. Thomas Hartley is cutting these guys up though. And it looks like the artillery is focusing that way. Who is this coming straight for us? Oh, the Newfoundland regiment is back for more. Just to run into a volley and retreat once more. Looks like the British is actually attacking. Not entirely sure why the cannons decided they were going to focus all the fire on Rogers Rangers over there. So have Hartley move a little bit further forward so they can get at the selected marksman company. Same with the dragoons. And we will advance the entire line to meet the enemy now. Dragoons, you will ride around the hill. I'm hoping you will go around that way. Shoot him down. Cannons will hold fire. And then I want them to fire right here to break up the center of the British attack. I think that will soften them up enough so that, I mean, they will surely be shot down before they even get close to our lines for us to even shoot at them. Oh, here comes the volleys. Together with the cannon shots, you can see the Germans are already wavering, the natives are running. They're clumped together, cannon shots bouncing through, cutting them to shreds. Their flank is gone. They continue in such a tight formation with all those troops. Unfortunately, we're not really. I was hoping for tighter volleys from us coming in against them. Now, when they've got to within 100 meters, that is when a proper barrage of artillery shot came in, plus volleys, completely tore these guys up, killing hundreds of them. And yeah, Rogers Rangers over there is probably a target to aim for. I want to make sure that these guys don't come back, so I'm going to tell the cavalry to move in on them. I'm going to move these three up. Okay, these guys are doing their volleys, so we'll move them after they've done the volleys. But then these will move up on those, and then these will move up here. Cavalry is riding them down. Thomas Hartley, position you over here. You can fire overhead onto British forces. Here we actually have a British unit doing fire by rank towards us. Fortunately for him, he's facing 3 of our regiments, with one of them being a light regiment. It's probably got quite good accuracy. And the mountain rangers. British Marines and natives trying to do possibly a charge towards the 3 main regiments. The cavalry having a field day running down the remnants of whatever that was. The main attack, or whatever you want to call it. Wasn't much of an attack, I must say. Hopefully we'll be able to get volleys off before they actually get here. Are they going to stop to fire? That's very, very close and very daring. I like how I'm pretty sure this regiment actually fired upon the natives rather than upon the Marines. Not that the Marines are going to... Oh, yes, they will actually fire. They managed to fire 1 volley. Oh, and the natives are actually standing there. Oh, the 5th Pennsylvania was sent away by Rogers Rangers. Not Rogers Rangers, but Jessup Loyalist Corps that turned up. Now actually causing a bit of problem on my left flank. We're gonna have these 3 move up. We still have the British in the forest. These 4 will create a new line against that Jessup line. And then you will be focusing on these natives. And you 3 will be focusing on that unit in the forest. Artillery will hold fire. And then reselect to find new targets. The line is holding just fine, even though we had a little bit of a break over on the left. The thing is, the British had nothing really to push up against us, so that they could not really use the fact that we broke over there. Now the artillery seems to be refocusing on these guys. Where is the enemy general? Oh, the entire British army is now retreating. What are all these extra regiments turning up over here? And where is the enemy general? I would think at this point that a little general with only 3 men in his actual bodyguard, or 3 men combined with his bodyguard, would be dead at this point. We're gonna make a line on the line that the British made. Artillery will hold fire and then reselect. I mean, I don't really need all of these troops now to protect me up here. So I'm gonna order the advance of the colonial militia, congressional militia. The natives is probably the unit to look out for. Gonna have the Baltimore Dragoons ride up, fire them really close in the back. They're very tired and they're concerned because a lot of friendly units are routing. Really close volley. Oh, and they broke just as I called the charge. And we kind of massacred that unit. Gonna redraw them so they don't ride onto the horse obstacles. Jessup is still there. Luckily for me, the British are focusing all their advancing troops into one area, which means they'll make a great target for my artillery. And then they'll march straight in to this half circle that I've made. And we are fighting from behind cover, and they're marching uphill into cannon shot, and soon fire from all the regiments here. But it looks like the cannon shots was enough to send them away. And there, ladies and gentlemen, we are victorious. We did not, however, get to kill Gisborne in the battle. Or Gisbane. Gisbert was his name. He managed to escape. For a 3rd time. Oh, and we broke the church outhouse. It's in Canada, so it doesn't matter that much. The results of the battle: so the enemy deployed about 2,000 men, lost 1,786 remaining. We lost 421 out of 2,300, leaving us with 1,900 men. Highest kills goes to Baltimore Dragoons, and then the artillery, surprisingly enough. But the enemy proved to put up a really dense target against us, so no surprise there. Colonial Marines, I saw off those Newfoundlanders with a very unfavorable melee fight again with the Newfoundlanders. Anyways, That means that those guys are mostly gone. They're actually able to slip across now
Immediately.
over
Ready and awaiting
into friendly territory. We're going to move up and we're going to block that.
Forward. March.
And then Washington will be marching all the way up to Montreal. And with that, the stage is kind of set for combining a lot of these troops and going against Quebec, New France. But as I said, hopefully we'll be able to actually out-resolve some bits here. So I'll end turn. We'll go through Cherokee Nations, make a slight adjustment to one of their armies. Zachariah Axford. Military writer, some stuff built. Yes, one thing that I did... Oh, Mozart died. That's terrible. One thing that I have been able to do is I've started building Independence Hall in Boston. But the campaign might be over before we actually have finished that. I have enough money to replenish both these armies, and we're able to march
Ready for order.
more or less all the way.
Harvesting
And
supplies.
given the garrison they've placed in these places, should be able to out-resolve it pretty quickly. And these guys should be gone, and then we can totally focus on the north. Let's go ahead and end turn once more. Someone also usually asks what year it is, and maybe it's a bit late in the series to say where the year is seen. But if you don't play Empire, it's right down here under the end turn button. And the year is 1791. The year in which the Cherokee
Yes, sir.
are once and for all
Ready for order.
destroyed.
Orders. Online for battle.
So this one is still favorable,
Rock in the star. Orders.
but we're gonna block this
Beats
one.
them.
And I think we'll do this one first. So just in case this crashes for some god-awful reason.
Victory is ours.
And that worked.
Settlement.
And then this should work as well. Where did the big army go? Oh, we went here. So it could definitely
Besieged.
try to destroy us.
Undaunted. Undefeated.
Boom. The thing is, I really want some of these American long rifles to make it up to Washington. What we might do for next video is, since it's really gonna be, I think, the last one, because well, there's a damn, look at that. Who has escaped and made it to here? And now they have a complete full stack. The largest battle we will have. I'll bring all my troops to the north. I'll design an army around George Washington with all the kind of best troops that I want. We'll have a full stack against a full stack of British, and that will finalize the series. The next one, hopefully, it will be the last one, unless the British do something stupid, like they actually attack us and take something from us, and we'll have to do one video before that. But what I'll do now is I'll go into a mode where I do a bunch of turns until I get to the point where we'll have the final battle. With that said, I hope you guys enjoyed this, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye.